everyone. I'm going to do a series of demonstrations in the next few videos on staples for university life, some basic things to cook and some basic ways to deal with leftovers. So today we're going to start with the firm family favourite of spaghetti and bolognese sauce, or spaghetti bolognese. To make a basic pasta sauce and to know how to cook pasta properly goes a long way in uni life, and you can actually make it quite healthy because you can include lots of different vegetables in it. I'm going to share my recipe that I use all the time. It's really, the flavour of it is up to you, it's variable. So I'm starting with a large amount of mince. I'm starting with 750 grams of mince. I want to do that because I want to make it so that I can make batches of it. So you do one big cook and then you can store the rest in containers, freeze them, and then they're there ready for you when you, on a night that you don't feel like cooking, when you've been particularly busy. You can also use the bolognese sauce in other ways. So a little further down the track in another video, I'll show you how to do that as well. So I have got 5% fat beef. Now, you can get 12%, you can get 20%. I find 5%, first of all, is the healthiest and the tastiest. So it's worth just spending a tiny bit more money. I know you're on a budget if you're at uni, but a tiny bit more money so that you get a better quality meat, okay? Then we start with what's called a mirepoix, which is a fancy name for a bunch of vegetables that provide the base and the flavour, so the background flavour. So I'm going to use 2 cloves of garlic in this recipe. I'm going to use 1 onion. I'm going to use 2 carrots and celery. That would be your basic mirepoix. I'm also going to add a pepper just for a bit of variety. You don't have to add a pepper if you don't like peppers, but I would definitely say go with the carrot, celery and onion, even if you don't like them. They get cooked down so much and they add nutritional content to the meal, which is really good when you're at uni and you're trying to stay healthy as well as party quite a lot, okay? The other things you need, I used a tin of tomatoes, really cheap, 28p, a tin of tomato soup, a beef stock cube. I use about 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, and I use about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Again, that's optional, that's just flavouring. And then secret little ingredient, I use barbecue sauce. When you're making a tomato-based sauce, sometimes just a little hint of sugar takes the acidity away and adds a depth of flavour. And then of course you add pepper and salt to taste. And that are the ingredients that you need to make a basic spaghetti bowl. Oh, and of course you need some spaghetti. Now, when you're doing cooking, always start with your preparation first, okay? So you do your basic preparation, which means I'm going to prep my veg, make sure all my tins are opened up and they're all ready to go, okay? So never cut an onion first, you'll end up crying the whole time. So I'm going to finely chop my celery. I'm going to use 2 sticks of celery. Top and tail it. Give it a rinse if it needs it. And then just slice down the middle so it's in quarters. And then you do what's called a low-rise cut, and you just run your blade through the stalks of celery. When you're cooking, you also want to aim to keep your work area nice and tidy. So I have a little bowl at the side here where I put all my chopped up veggies. Okay. And then you do the same with your carrots. Forgot my peeler. I'm going to peel my carrots, top and tail them. Really quickly. And then again, finely chop them. I'm going to use the same technique. I'll only show you one carrot and you can prep the other one later. So we do what's a bridge grip on either side of the carrot, and then we're holding with a claw grip, and you just run the blade quickly through the carrot. Doesn't matter if they're a bit chunky, you can make them finer if you want to. It's really just up to you, okay? They're going to cook down and really soften away anyhow. Now when we're prepping a pepper, I find the easiest way is just chop it in half and then cutting away from yourself, remove the seeds. And slice it using a claw grip. Now what you want to do is make your vegetables approximately the same size. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're not, but it just makes the dish look a bit more pretty, doesn't it? And let's face it, we eat with our eyes, whether we like it or not. So if you can produce something that's yummy looking, you'll be popular with all your housemates. That's certainly for sure. Now to prep a clove of garlic, well, that's quite a big one. We might just use one clove of garlic. You chop the dry end off, take the flat blade of your knife, push down with your hand and crush it, and that removes all the skin really easily. And then if you don't have a garlic crusher, you just, again, using that low-rise cut that I was using for the celery and the carrot, slice it roughly and then run your blade through it till it's finely chopped. Make sure it's finely chopped. You don't want to be chomping down on big chunks of garlic. You want the flavour to go all the way through. Oh, another ingredient that is optional, but I would almost definitely add, is mixed herbs or Italian herbs or oregano or whatever herbs you have in your pantry. But I would recommend buying a bottle of dried mixed herbs. They last forever and they add a nice flavour to lots of different dishes, okay? So I'll get those out in a minute. I've forgotten those as well. And lastly, for our prep for our mise en place, top and tail your onion. Now to stop an onion making you cry, you need to limit the amount of time your eyes are exposed to the cut surface of the onion, which is why I've left it till last. And I'll show you the technique that I use to limit the amount that we're exposing ourselves. So rather than cutting all the way down and having the slices of onion fall off and open onto the board, you cut almost all the way down and they stay together. When you reach the middle, cut all the way through, lay it cut side down on the board, and that way no fumes are getting to your eyes and the acid that they produce can't make you cry. Do the same on the other side. Remember, you're using a claw grip. Now you switch to a bridge grip. Lay the onion down, hold the slicer together, and you can see that I put my knife through that bridge, still my onions together, and it's only when I get to this point where I'm using a claw grip again and I'm running my blade through the onion that it actually eventually falls apart. So it's really only at that point that we are exposing ourselves to the acid that makes us cry. So that's a little tip for you for today. Right, now, I'm going to finish up getting my vegetables all ready. You don't need to watch me do that, but you've got the idea. Dice the carrots, dice the celery, dice the peppers, finely chop the garlic, and finally chop the onion. I'll be back in just a moment to show you how to start getting the mince ready, and we're going to brown off the mince. I'll be back in a second.